Today we're going to talk about board setups. We're going to talk about setting up your skateboard. Now, it isn't rocket science. Anybody that can hold a screwdriver and put it into a hole can set up a skateboard. But the reason for making this video is we want to talk to you about just some details to pay attention to when setting up your board. Because there are a few, and they are important. Okay, so all the components you're going to need. You're going to need grip tape. You're going to need a deck. You're going to need wheels. You're going to need trucks, hardware, and bearings. So the first thing you're gonna need is obviously the deck. And you can't just skate a deck without some type of grip on top of it, which is why they make something called grip tape. Now, we did a separate video for grip tape, so I'm not gonna go into full detail on how to grip a board, just because that's kind of an entirely different process, and that actually does take a little bit of skill. Basically, you just lay your grip tape flat on the board, smooth it out, and you cut around the edges of the board. Yeah, like I said, if you want more details, watch our other video that we did about grip tape. And then next, you're gonna need, preferably, all of the same type of bolts, whether it be Allen key or Phillips head screwdriver. That's up to your preference. You wanna just make sure they're all the same so you don't run into the issue of losing your screwdriver component to your T-tool and then your bolts start to come loose or your trucks fall off or something while you're skating, then you're just kind of fucked. Yeah, so actually it sucks really bad. When you go into a skate shop, you have to buy each bolt individually. No, I'm just kidding. That's like not true at all. It comes with 8. It comes in a pack of 8 and it will either be Allen or Phillips. So you can get those on our site too. We have hardware. We also have T-tools. So you're gonna need one of these to set up a skateboard unless you go through your dad's garage and go through his tools, which he probably won't be stoked about. So maybe just buy one on ccs.com. When you're putting your bolts in, you can kind of see here that my bolt is sticking up a little bit, and that's just because I'm lazy. You don't really want to do this because this is gonna like tear your shoes even more. Like the grip tape already tears your shoes, and then if you have shit sticking out of the top, like it's gonna rip your shoes apart even more. So you wanna make sure that your bolts are flush. They're like cone shape. The tips of the bolts are cone shape. They set into the deck nicely. Yeah, and then you have bolts on the bottom side that just screw right on and hold the truck. So you want to make sure that your truck is super tight to the board. You don't want it to wiggle around. As you can see, no wiggle. That's just the sound of my bushings. You'll hear a rattling between your bolts and your deck if it's too loose. And that's bad because it loosens up the hole in the truck, which just causes your trucks to come looser more often. And the last thing you want is your truck falling off while you're hauling ass trying to trick. Next, we're gonna move on to the wheels, made of urethane, and then you have your bearings on the inside. The bearing is what makes the wheel go round. They definitely will last longer if you keep them clean and keep them lubricated. So there's 2 bearings on each side of the wheel, one from the truck connecting to the wheel and then one from the bolt connecting to the wheel. It's gonna keep the wheel stable, and you want to absolutely make sure that your bearings are all the way pressed into the center, because if they're loose, that can cause your bearing to break. It puts like impact on your bearing in the wrong way, cause it to snap, and you'll blow out a bearing, which also sucks. You'll know when your bearings are all the way in and straight because your wheel's gonna spin straight also. Like you'll notice a wobble if they're crooked. Now, when it comes to tightening down your bolt for the wheel, you don't want to tighten your bolt all the way down because that's gonna slow your wheel down. You can do that if you're trying to like prank your friend or something, but you don't wanna do that if you're actually trying to haul ass at a trick or even just cruise, because you want like a little bit of wiggle room like this. Like you wanna hear just a little. These bolts are unlikely to come loose. It does happen. It has happened to me, but it's unlikely. Right, so trucks are gonna last a while. So you're gonna be constantly using the same trucks, and you also want the groove in the truck too. So when these trucks are actually pretty new, but you can already see I'm starting to develop a groove right here, and this is good. This is what you want. That's when your trucks are broken in, and you also want your bushings broken in as well. So don't tighten them all the way down because that will cause them to crack and blow out, which is bad. That's gonna fuck with your turning. This is gonna be the end of your T-tool that connects with the nut, and whether you have screwdriver or Phillips, that's gonna go in the top side of the fastening component. T-tool, very simple. It's got leverage, so you just twist and turn to tighten it. The big one here is for the trucks, to tighten and loosen your trucks, and the medium-sized one, the middle child here, is to tighten and loosen your wheels. It's not rocket science. Just make sure you pay attention to those smaller details because those are important. And remember, have fun.